Well, hey friends, this is Jennifer, and this is the Jennifer Allwood Show, the podcast for women who want to find freedom in both their life and in their business. I own a multi-7-figure-a-year coaching business. I'm also a certified life coach. So I have the honor of helping thousands of women every single month make money in the online space and help them to get unstuck from whatever is holding them back, all without sacrificing their faith or their family. In this show, you're going to get the very best life and business advice, always with a healthy dose of Jesus. So buckle in, my friend. I'm so excited that you are here. Well, hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. This is podcast episode number 286. It was a weird little voice I used. You know, the longer I do this podcast, the more I think I get comfortable using weird voices. So if you're new, sorry about that. If not, you've probably seen just a little bit of an evolution in just comfortability. You know, when you're getting ready to hit 5 million podcast downloads, you just kind of start winging it a little more. So not winging it as in like I don't have substantial content, just winging it as in like if I want to use a weird voice, then I'm going to use a weird voice. So this is episode number 286, and I'm going to talk about social media today. And this is for those of you that have a love-hate relationship with social media and how you can create some healthy boundaries. Because the truth of the matter is social media has changed our business. It's changed our life for Jason and I and our kids. I've been verified on Facebook for, 7 or 8 years with 370,000 followers there, 100,000 on Instagram. Still trying to get verified there. Little shameless plug if anybody can help. 100,000 on Pinterest. I'm on TikTok, trying to work that. And so I've got a decent social media following. And I teach, in my inner circle, how to grow your social media and grow your email list. And then I teach my Better Way program, like how to monetize what you build on social media. But what I've noticed is that there are some people that are just super resistant to the growing social media part because it requires some strategy. It requires time. It requires a little bit of effort. It feels overwhelming because some people are like, I don't even know which social media do I go on. I was going to go here, but now everybody's going here. And do I even bother still being on Facebook? And do I have to run ads? And I'm afraid of this and I'm afraid of that. And it's super interesting because it's the stories that we tell ourselves about social media that keep us from actually doing social media. And so I want to just kind of, share with some things with you today of some things that you could do, some tips, some tricks, that maybe will help you to think about social media in a different way. I want to reframe this for you, just kind of flip the script on social media for those of you who are pretty resistant to wanting to be on it. Okay. Some of you, you just don't even love to be on social media on a personal level. So for you to try to do social media on a business level, it feels like, since it's not something that you enjoy, then it's like this consistent rub, right? Because you're like, well, I don't even love to go onto Facebook. And yet Jennifer's telling me I got to be on Facebook. And I agree that's a hard position. So I've got some tips for you. Some of you are making the decision to kind of get off of social altogether. And I respect that. My husband is not on social media at all. And so he's not on social at all. And sometimes I look at him and I'm like, oh, that must be really nice to just fully enjoy the moment of my birthday without feeling like you have to capture pictures of my birthday or then post them later. Because if you didn't actually post the picture, then the birthday even happened. Do you know what I mean? And so there's a part of me that's like, oh, that's lovely that he's not even on it. And I know there's many people who are just making a choice to get off of social media or really limited for business uses only. And I know that there's, also the fear for a lot of people of trolls, DMs, etc. And so I kind of want to address all of those points. Okay. So let's start at the end and go back up. So if you're somebody who's really afraid, for instance, of trolls, nasty DMs on social media, let me just tell you this. If you are letting something that may or may not potentially happen, could happen, but you're not sure if it's going to happen because you never actually really posted a ton on social media. If that potential of something that's pretty quite honestly unlikely happening is preventing you from getting onto social media and growing your business, you're thinking about it all wrong. You're literally thinking about it all wrong. Because the likelihood, if you don't have a substantial following on social media, if your business is not something that is super divisive, if it's something that people either really feel one way about or another, if you're not coming out with a lot of your opinions and things, which I guarantee you you're not because you're not on social media that much, then you're literally just worrying about something that very, very, very rarely is probably going to be something that even happens. So it's a flimsy excuse, but I love you. But I'm telling you, it's a flimsy excuse. And if you are someone who's like, but one time I did get a yucky DM. Listen, even Jesus had haters. Like, why do we think that we get to be above that? Why do we think that we should be exempt from a little bit of pushback? Sometimes I think about this because there's people that will say, like, if you're not getting anybody ever, disagreeing with you or coming, after you or whatever, then you're probably not posting anything substantial enough. And I'm like, ooh, and I got to think about that because, we are called to be peacemakers, right? We are called to, be winsome. But it's interesting to me that people are afraid of trolls or bad comments or nasty DMs. And I'm like, have you ever actually got one? Well, no, but I've just heard. Okay, listen, you are fully capable. Somebody write this down because this is the honest to goodness truth. You are fully capable of handling a yucky DM. You are absolutely capable of that. Here's how you do it. You look at the DM. Is there any truth to that? Yes or no? If no, then you just delete it and you don't think twice about it. Or you can do like me and you screenshot it and you share it and you turn it into a teachable moment and you all giggle, and your family gets a good kick out of it, etc. Okay. So if you're afraid of trolls and DMs, like, knock it off. It's a ridiculous reason to not be on social media. Okay. If you are somebody that is really just not wanting to be on social media at all, then find yourself a social media manager. Find somebody that can post for you. If you are inside of any of my coaching groups, you have access to my VA agency. Contact them, send them an email, do all the things, have them put some posts on social media for you. All right. But the fact that you don't enjoy being on social media, you've got to remember that 99% of your audience does. See, what happens is when we start making our business about us, then we get into trouble. And so if you're at home and you're like, I have this great earring business, but I'm just going to sell locally because I don't want to be on social media. What about all the women on social media who would be buying your earrings? What about the fact that you have family members that could really use for your earring business to absolutely take off so that they could retire, so that they could pay off some debt, so that you could send a kid to private school? Like, if you don't like it, that's okay. But 99% of your audience is on social media. And the ability for you to make money on social media versus in person is exponential. It's not even on the scales, you guys. The amount of money that you can make once your business is online. And I teach 8 ways you can make money online. My Better Way program, I launch it twice a year. I'll be launching it again in the fall. You can go to betterwayprogram.com right now. Go to betterwayprogram.com right now. Just put in your email. I'll send you an email to let you know when it's open so you can read all about it. But the ways of making money online, like, there's just so many options. I teach 8 of them. And when you have a brick and mortar, or you're selling, just person to person, or you've got a service-based business like I used to with my painting company, and you find a client, you take care of the client. Now you got to find another client and you got to take care of the client. And then, like, that is a good way to keep your business really small. And so I teach 8 different ways. So if you're like, I'm just going to sell in person and not be on social media, you are missing so much opportunity financially. Have somebody else help you with that. Okay. If you are someone who's like, I don't think that social media is what it used to be. Listen, I have to be so uber careful because my business was completely built on social media. And so I don't want to curse the very thing that blessed me and my family. Has social media changed? It absolutely has. But the Bible calls us to be fishers of men. And that's not meaning men as in man and woman, but so where are the people at? We're to be fishers of people. We're to be winsome. We're to draw them in. Where are people at? They're on social media. The Bible says we're to be disciples of all the nations. And social media helps us to reach more people further and faster. Social media is the easiest way to grow your company. It is the freest way to join your company. So then I'm going to have people who are like, oh my goodness, we got to run ads. No, you don't. I mean, if you want to run ads, go follow my friend, Adrienne Richardson, smartest ad person I know. But you don't have to run ads. We are running very few ads right now. You can grow organically. People are still growing organically every single day. I'm thinking of Julie Eckstein, who's in my, she's in my mastermind, and she's had a couple of Instagram videos go viral. One was even like 2 years old. She got like, I don't know, 20,000 new followers on Instagram in like 10 seconds or something. Okay, maybe not that, but social media is alive and well. Don't listen to the people who are not trying to grow a business, or if they are, don't listen to those negative people. Do we have to be smarter? Absolutely. Do we have to be more clever maybe in the way we grow? Absolutely. But you are fully capable of still growing a business very organically without paying for ads on social media. So let's talk about some quick social media boundaries for those of you that are just a little bit nervous, okay? Listen, one of the greatest things I think that Mark Zuckerberg did is he gave us the ban and delete button. So you've heard that Bible scripture to not throw your pearls on swine, right? So if you get somebody that's a knucklehead in your comments, they're a knucklehead in your DMs, just ban and delete. Like, don't think twice about it. It would be like somebody coming into your store, if you owned a store, and absolutely positively like, ridiculing you, insulting you, and you just let them keep standing there doing it. Like, you wouldn't. You would kick them out. You would call security. You'd get them gone, right? So do the same thing on your social media. You don't let people come into your home and yell at you. Don't let people come into your socials and yell at you. Get rid of them. Okay. So that's a good boundary. Just ban and delete. Also set some hours for yourself. Set some boundaries for yourself. When you wake up in the morning, is the first thing you do is turn on your social media? Like, set some things on your iPhone to where, your social media won't even allow you to get on there until a certain time of day, or it only gives you a certain amount of hours. You are fully capable of setting some boundaries for yourself. Oh, but I might miss an order. No, you won't. My Lord, have mercy. I think one of the worst things that Facebook has done is put that thing on where it's like, their average response time is 3 minutes. Their average response time is, 36 hours or whatever. Like, I don't expect when I send people a DM to hear back from them immediately. And you shouldn't either. By the way, if you have that autoresponder that's like, hey, we'll get back with you at our earliest convenience, knock it off. It's so gross. Take your autoresponder off of your social media DMs. If I send you a DM because I know that you are doing, consultations for homeschooling or something like that, and I send you a DM, I don't want to get your message back that says, hey, thank you so much for responding. You can go to my website, blah, 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 blah. You can also, connect with me here. So good to hear from you. Here's my frequently asked questions. Like, no, I sent you a DM because I actually want to talk to you. I would rather wait 12 hours till you're back in the office and get an actual DM back from you than you just give me like a blanket response that feels really gross. So give yourself some boundaries, set some times that you're going to be on social media. Don't think you have to respond to people immediately. Okay. And remember, you don't have to respond at all to some things. Let me read to you a comment that I've got sitting on my Instagram right now. If you have followed me for a little bit of time, you know that last week I was at a brand new mastermind in Colorado Springs called the Wellspring. It was amazing. And while I was there, I got to meet Tim Tebow, who is also amazing. And it was fabulous. And I put a little video up of myself, shaking his hand. We stand for pictures. We take pictures. We smile. They take the picture. It's awesome, right? So it's a little video I put on Instagram. And I got an Instagram DM for somebody that wanted to steal my piece first thing Sunday morning. Now, let me just say, first of all, this person has no followers on Instagram and no posts. And they made their name, it's like Megan2068.n. It's a random name. And there's no profile picture. And here's what he or she said. You need your hair trimmed in the back. Look at it when you're meeting Tim. And I went back and looked at the video. And my hair is tucked, first of all, not that I need to explain anything, inside of the yellow jacket I was wearing. And then I thought to myself, I would love to respond back to this person and say, do you realize I lost over half of my hair 2 years ago? And for you to say anything about it is really like, wounding. Don't you have anything better to do with your time? But then I also realized that is completely throwing my pearls on swine. That's what the Bible's talking about. That is a waste of my breath. This person, could even be somebody I know, has made an account specifically to slide into the DMs of either just me or me and other people, just to have verbal diarrhea and say things that they would never say to someone's face, or never be in a position that they should, unless it's, close friends or something. Why would I try to say anything back to that person? They have 0 followers, 0 posts. We don't follow each other on Instagram. There's no profile picture. They've never sent me a message before, and they're insulting my hair. It is not worth even thinking twice about that, you guys. It's not. When I went back and looked at the video, I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, oh, maybe it does need trimmed. My hair grows to a V. Who cares? It's so interesting that people will every once in a while say something on social media they would never say to your face. But for those of you who are worried, like about trolls and nasty DMs, you can handle a DM about getting your hair trimmed. I promise you can. If you cannot handle a DM about getting your hair trimmed, you're not going to be able to handle business. Oh, somebody is crushed right now. If you are so sensitive that you cannot get a DM from a complete stranger on social media and just not respond to it and not let it wound you and get you stuck, then you probably are not going to do okay at business. You're just not, because you have to be wired differently. If you're so fragile that a DM about needing to trim your hair wounds you, you're going to be in trouble in business. And so listen, you don't have to respond to everything that someone says. You can get help on your social media, but what you can't do in the year 2022 is think that you're going to grow a business and make a lot of money from it and not be on social media and not be on it regularly. It's just not possible. So I hope that is helpful for someone today, somebody that has kind of a love-hate relationship with social media. I just want to encourage you, get on it. If you're in one of my groups, hire businesses to do your social media posts. If you're not in one of my groups, hire a social media manager. Because the reason you grow your social media is so then you can make money from your social media. And I already told you guys I know about my Better Way program. We will be launching that in September. If you want an email in September that tells you the specifics, that tells you what we're doing in my Better Way program, you can go to betterwayprogram.com. Do you want to know why we called it Better Way? Because there's a better way to make money, and it's online. Why, Jen? Well, so you can do it at home in your jammies. So you can be making money when you're on vacation, so that you can have money coming in when you've got toddlers crawling all over you at home. So you don't have to put your kids in childcare if you don't want to. So you don't have to go to a 9-5 where you have to, dress up and you have to pay for parking and you have to fight, the rat race every day of getting there, parking, if you're like, I am so tired of that, then you need to be online and you need social media and you need somebody to show you how to monetize your social media. There was one point, friends, when I had 100,000 followers on my Facebook page, but I was not even making $100,000 yet on social media. And I don't want people to be in that same situation. There's a better way. I just had to figure it out. I want to teach you also. So go to betterwayprogram.com. We'll send you out an email in September. Until then, I will see you next week. Have a great one. Bye-bye. Friend, thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. I'm so honored that you come back for every episode and that you share the Jennifer Allwood Show with your friends and family. Every time I see you guys post about it on Instagram or Facebook or something, it just makes me do a little happy. So thank you. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast if you never want to miss an episode. So you can go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Spotify or any of the other podcasting places and subscribe each week so that every week you get the new episode when it releases. So just know that I love bringing you relevant content. I love bringing you great guests. And one of the ways you can help us here at Team Allwood is by leaving the podcast a review. So if you have just a second to do that, would you go over and leave a review for the Jennifer Allwood Show? Thank you again. You're amazing. I'm honored to be here. Until next week. Bye-bye.